This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice, including but not limited to legal, medical, or financial advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the cast and our guests is, with no guarantees of accuracy, completeness, or timeliness. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the production network.
He is my king, he is my one. Yes, he's my father, yes, he's my son. I can talk to him, cause he understands everything I go through and everything I am. He's my support system, I can't live without him. The best thing since sliced bread is his kiss, his hugs, his lips, his touch. And I just want the whole world to know about my black brother. I love you and I'll never try to hurt you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Cause you're my black brother, strong brother, and there is no one above you. I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true. Under Detroit skies, we roam so free. Two souls bound by fate and mystery. Cousins by blood, but deeper we go. Secret world, only we know. Whispers in the night, they call us near. Voices from the past, crystal clear. We're tuned to the stars. We're hearing the song. Clairvoyant hearts, where we belong. Marcus and Nosa in the glow of the night. Dancing with spirits, bathing in light. Real estate by day, dreams by the moon, selling homes while hearing the tune. Osa sees visions, her eyes like fire. Marcus builds bridges, lifting us higher. Guided by the wind, the rhythm flows through hidden realms where only we go. We're tuned to the stars. We're hearing this song. Clairvoyant hearts, where we belong. Marcus and Rosa in the glow of the night. Dancing with spirits, bathing in light.
Aparicio and Octavius roll like tides. College days, Clark, Atlanta, where it all collides. Fred stepped in, the trio came alive. Three voices, one mic, now the stories thrive. Late nights, deep talks, the bonds grew tight. From dorm room dreams to the podcast light. Brotherhood on air, we laugh, we share. Spinning life stories, no truth left spare. Brotherhood.
Hey, fellas.
What's up, man? What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday. Hopefully everybody got out to vote no matter what state you're in. You know, voting is everything. Voting is key to change. No matter who you vote for. Conservative brother Fred.
Gotta keep Georgia conservative, man.
Yeah. He enjoyed all this rain happening this week.
Yeah, man. So how have y'all weeks been, y'all?
It's been eventful. Yeah.
Eventful?
Normally I say I've been tired, but it's just been eventful. Bro.
Eventful.
Yeah.
I see you jet setting out here, traveling for work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Was in Chicago this week, Detroit coming up, and back to Miami. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna be in the MIA.
Yeah. Doing big things, son.
Fred, what's up, man? What's going on? I heard you was barbecuing in the storm.
Man, you know, on the grill, man. Anytime I get a chance, you know that. But I'm just happy to be back, fellas. I appreciate you guys. I missed you guys last week, so I'm happy to be back.
It's all good, man. It's good to see you upright and healthy.
Yes, sir.
Upright and healthy. Yeah, man. We're gonna bring on them crazy cousins. Hopefully they can't hear me.
Bring our crew in. Our family. Family. Yeah, let's bring them in. People know who they are. They've been killing the platforms. No pun intended.
Jesus Christ.
We're tuned to the stars. We're hearing a song. Clairvoyant hearts where we belong. Marcus and Nosa in the glow of the night. Dancing with spirit.
What up, though?
What
up, cousin?
I don't know what I'm doing over there, boy.
Did you just hit us up? Yeah. I was trying to get Fred on some, you know what I'm saying?
I wanted to come in on the brothers' music so I could do the Fred.
He like a rock'em sock'em robot.
And then a rocket change to be rocky.
Be on beat.
No.
On what planet are you on beat?
What beat is that?
Them Doobie Brothers.
He on the moon on beat.
Oh man, how y'all been, cousins? Good.
And it's been good.
I guess we could get on into tonight's conversation.
Let's
So
go.
we wanted to do something different. We usually spend a lot of time talking about relationships and healing and masculine and feminine energies. But we rarely take time to stop and pause and to ask men how they are feeling beneath the surface. So this is what this episode is going to be about. Men and emotions. What men suppress and the safety or lack of safety that they feel with expressing something.
Yeah. So emotional suppression, masculinity versus vulnerability, pressure that men have on day-to-day life, being providers and protectors, emotional isolation, and what am I forgetting? Oh, intimacy fears.
So I would like to pose a question. But I want to ask all the fellas. I mean, 'cause I'm the only woman here, so I really want to just be the observer and the supporter of you all. But when did you first feel like vulnerability became unsafe?
Kid. When I was a kid, I was taught by my father. I was raised by my father, single father, who was raised by his mother, who didn't know his father. Right. So give you that background, because when you talk about just masculinity, I don't think like back in the 80s, when I was born, I don't think he knew about toxic masculinity or anything like that. He knew about masculinity. And he was just saying that the world doesn't care about your feelings. It's facts over feelings. And you don't have emotions. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted me to be confident. So I couldn't say I think something. I would say I know this. Right. So it's just the way that he tried to train me and groom me to prepare me for this wicked world that I'm in now. So growing up is really for me, you don't know any better. But as I got into college and I went to counseling and I got my degrees, then I started to see like, oh, that probably wasn't good thinking. So I had to like retrain my thought. But what he wanted to do is just to build just a strong person to deal with the wicked ways of this world. You know, we can talk about anything. We can talk about the judicial system. We can talk about voting rights. We talk about all those different things. It's crazy because now it built a wall that protects me to some extent, but at the same time, it hindered me in my relationship.
Oh, you spoke on it. Okay. Very nice opening.
Anybody else want to chime in? Come on now. Everybody got these feelings.
I kind of resonate with that because I grew up with my mom and didn't know my dad till I was in my 20s. And I felt like there wasn't a figure to look up to except my grandmother's husband, who I called daddy, most of my life. But, I've always had that wall put up where I wasn't vulnerable. I wasn't, an open book. I went to school, I came home, I watched TV, I went to bed. And I didn't do nothing outside of that for many, many years. And so I didn't have a chance until I don't think I ever like opened up and like was emotional and cried and stuff like that. And I would always wear that face where I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, but then when it hits you, it hits you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I experienced that when I lost my grandmother. She was like the rock to the family. So for me, it was hard to express emotion and feeling. I was the one at the funeral that had a straight face and was just making sure everything went right. And I was managing instead of being there to grieve. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that shaped me in all relationships. I wasn't the crying type, the emotional type. And I don't know. I think a lot of men deal with that and don't really talk about it.
I've observed that a lot of men see crying as a form of weakness,
Yeah.
emotional vulnerability to, be strong all the time. And that's really a mask because y'all are human as well. Y'all are supposed to feel the full spectrum of emotions just like women.
Yeah.
Women tend to wire in too, because y'all aren't really wired to feel like that. So when you feel it, it's torn. But I don't want to keep going. I want to let the fellas see.
Yeah.
Absent like he got something he want to get off his chest.
You like a boiling pot right there, buddy. You ready?
I was just thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the older I got, I probably share my emotions, but it's mainly with my mom when I do. Because growing up, if I had any kind of emotion, we was probably fighting because mine was straight up anger.
Mm.
We was probably fighting. That means that I done held whatever it was in that you might have done or said to me too long. And now it just when it came out angry, it came out verbally. I didn't really care about people's feelings. I grew up, I say what I'm going to say. Sometimes I still do that now, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Now I may worry about how somebody feel about what I said, right?
You still say it though.
I'm going to say it. Like, I'm going to say it. And then it's like a double-edged thing. So I grew up around a bunch of men. And it was talking like, man
that
up.
makes sense.
You don't do, you know what I'm saying? Just certain things you don't do. And so I just grew up in that world. It didn't really bother me. I do feel like sometimes some of these, let me not say what I'm going to say. But yeah,
Why?
I think,
Why?
I just think that I don't think that it's healthy that men hold a lot of things in, but I think sometimes they're baby too much this day and age, and it makes them way too soft. And I probably catch some backlash on it from the comments. I really don't care. It's my point of view, my feelings. I just think we're too soft on them now these days. So I didn't grow up like that. I grew up around generations of men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Fred?
Different. I'm a crier of the group. When I get angry, I cry. When I'm happy, I cry. I think that's just an emotion that I shared lately that I noticed about myself. So it doesn't. I've learned not to. I used to think it was kind of weakness, but it's really just me releasing.
Yeah, I
'Cause
agree.
it's not, but I guess to be around a person or to be, you know, in public or something that triggers you, I think that's kind of the more like, you know, why should I, you know, where's this coming from? But I kind of learned to kind of try to accept it because at least it allows me to release whatever is coming, whatever I need to get out of. So,
You probably feel a lot better afterwards too, right?
oh yeah, much better,
Yeah.
much more logic.
I want to ask, when did you have that like shift in your mindset, or how to when did you shift into the thought of, okay, let me actually express it and feel it, versus suppressing it?
I just think like it just happened. I think I was angry one time, and anger you expect a certain reaction, like you want to go fight, like I said, or something like that. But just tears would come out, and I felt better after, right? So I was like, okay, that felt cool, and then I was able to at least think logically after the emotional release was out. So then I learned, you know, went from anger to shoot. I could be watching a Disney movie, or I could be thinking about fatherhood or whatever. That's just the emotion that comes out, which is odd. But that's lately what it's been. Maybe I don't know. Maybe after my father passed, maybe there's something connected to it. But
Okay.
just a lot more connected to that part than I've ever been in my life.
So Fred, it's like several things that you said, right? There's several things that Marcus said. The death part. The only time I showed emotion where it was acceptable was at a funeral. And growing up, I seen a lot of my cousins and I think my uncle, just gang violence and all those different things, right? So it's all right to show emotions there, right? But that's where it opened up. And I think to your other point, Fred, I think we've suppressed so much throughout our younger years, we were unable to develop. So you all talked about, basically people born in 2010 and on being a little too soft. That's because we suppressed so much, right? So if we would have had like a counselor, if we had a therapist, when I was like in elementary school and I got kicked out of Compton Unified schools because I was being bad in elementary school, maybe that would have solved some of those issues. But we suppressed it so much to like now when we get a certain age, you might watch a certain scene in a movie and you're like, wow, and you're having this emotional response, right? Because that's good, like that's just good cinema, if you will. But those are natural feelings. But again, after a while, it's just suppression. It just comes up and comes out.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's just my thought. And then, App, you said something, and I was the same way, man. Anger. That's the reason why I was always getting in trouble in elementary school. But I think that's the lowest threshold to emotional intelligence, right? It's just to get upset because you don't know anything, and that's the only thing that's really acceptable as an African American male is let's just get mad and let's fight because that's how we always taught us to fight versus focusing on that specific feeling. So why are you feeling angry? Is it fear? Is it hurt? Is it embarrassment? Is it all these different other emotions that we don't even get introduced to and get to our adolescence, right? And you start dating or something like that, and then a woman introduced those emotions to you, and then you're not even in a position to accept it, right? And I start thinking about high school and being where I am now. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I was like, I was a nut earlier because women will tell you in their most vulnerable state in high school and in college about where they are, but I wasn't in the place to actually accept it and process it and honor their feelings and take accountability and all those different things into this age where, again, meeting you all helped me. Marcus, from when I bought my house and I was frustrated and you had your patience to all the conversations that I've had with Weems when I was in DC going through stuff. Weems like, stay focused. You know why you here. Like just different conversations with App, conversations with Fred after breakups and things like that. It's your support system that actually like helps you maturate and makes you grow.
I like that. I think that's a good thing. People like Weems and just having somebody you can call and connect with. We like support each other. I mean, I've been around you guys for many years, and my cousin and I, we've been rocking since she was in diapers. So like we've seen each other upset, sad, um, I think I probably cried in front of my cousin maybe twice my whole life, and they were at funerals. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. I definitely get that. Um,
So would you say
we
that's the only time y'all feel emotionally safe is during funerals or dealing with grief?
Early on in life, yes, but now, I'm emotional around these fellas on the call, right? If I'm in a relationship, and if I'm in a relationship, I feel like I can share that emotion. But I think it just, for us, it seems like that was the only time it was acceptable, and it was crazy because Marcus said it, then Fred said it, and I was thinking it as they said it, like, wow, like that is the first time that I was able to cry, and it wasn't like a bad thing. But because we all know the thing about, you cry like a girl, right? Or man up versus,
Yeah.
I want to use the word show up, right? It ain't about manning up, right? Because what's the difference between a man and a woman? It should be woman up, right? So just, show up. We got to show up for ourselves. So, look, I'm in my bag tonight, y'all. You know how I get.
We ain't good with you. Okay. I don't know. I think maybe I don't know. I don't think if I cried, you piss me off, and it's probably I'm crying because of what I want to do to you and I can't because I love you. That's really what it is. Because for somebody I don't like, and if I had to shed a tear, it's probably I don't like you no more. You gonna piss me off. But for those that are close to me, I mean I don't hear. I can. Wings have seen me shed a tear. Red has seen me, but and they'll probably tell you most times I was probably angry. So I just don't I don't I'm probably the dude, but like, dude, why you crying, man? So and that's not healthy. Get it. But that's just I still don't show those emotions sometimes. And if I did cry, like you said earlier, Marcus, I'm by myself.
I get
And
it.
I'm processing. I'm processing the fact of whoever made me cry. Do I really want to F with you ever again?
Damn.
But that's just real because I shouldn't be in a position to feel that way about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's take a quick break, y'all, and make sure we come back and dive into the big meat and change it up just a little bit. I don't want to get too mushy. So, Fred, no need. You don't need to cry for us tonight. This ain't Yala Van
It's okay
Zandt.
to cry, friend.
Masculinity
Release and be
and
free.
emotions.
All right, but y'all make sure y'all stay in touch. It's the brothers and cousins in the cosmos. We both have websites up and running. We on TikTok. We on Facebook. We on Instagram. Check us out. We'll be right back in quick five.
Hey, big drums.
Come on, Fred.
Aparicio and its heaviest roll like tides, college days, clock.
Life's challenges deserve a champion. In times like those, you want someone you can depend on, someone who'll let you begin to sleep at night. It is at that time you think of the Weems firm. From Atlanta to Los Angeles, the Weems firm will deliver for you. The Weems firm. We listen, we understand, we solve. Your story, our expertise. Visit us today.
Weaves, the name that they know. In the world, all the stars, we make the glow. From LA to ACL, west in the sea.
When your comfort is on the line, call the team that gets the job done right. Air Conditioning Inc. delivers dependable heating and air conditioning service you can trust. From emergency repairs and seasonal maintenance to full system installations, we keep homes and businesses comfortable year-round. Professional service, honest work, reliable results. Air Conditioning Inc. Your comfort is our command. Call 404-438-8622 today.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus.
Under Detroit skies, we're I'm so free. Two souls bound by fate and mystery.
All right. Welcome back to another crossover event from our family, the cousins and the cosmos and the brother show. Listen, we starting to get a little bit deep up in here. So before you do anything else, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Both of our platforms truly appreciate your support. Please continue to support. Osa, come on, woman of the podcast environment. What were you hitting on before we went to break?
I was speaking on just the fact that some men can be emotionally backed up. So there are some men who may feel like it's hard to cry or to express any type of emotion of that matter. And it generally does start at some age. Because I believe, in general, most little boys can cry easily. But it always seems like it's some event in life or some type of indoctrination by a parent or authority figure where they learn to shut that off. And it's like it used to become like this backed up pipeline, suppressing to the point that you don't no longer feel it. And the part about unlearning or unraveling manhood is really getting in tune with your inner child, which is what, it's equivalent to your soul. So you are supposed to be able to feel and express these things. It's not that you don't feel it, but you're just not in touch with it. So again, this is a purpose of this conversation so that we can allow true healing to happen, which also, fosters intimacy into you, I see, into me, I see. But we can only see people as deeply as we see ourselves. And the deeper that we can feel that, the deeper we can show up for our family, for our relationships, and just people alike.
That's deep. Pause.
You want to play the clip?
Yeah, I got you.
You know, as men, sometimes we're secretive with our emotions because we don't want to be looked at as soft or less than. But a lot of us have built up frustration inside, and we hold on to these things, so we walk around angry. I know this because I've done this for a very long time. And you know what helped me? Crying. It's perfectly okay for a man to break down and cry. And you don't got to do it in front of anyone. You could go to your car, go to your bathroom, go lock yourself in a closet, but let it out. There's plenty times I've cried and screamed at the top of my lungs as hard as I could, and I felt an immediate release. Grown men and young men need to know that it's okay to be emotional. Life can be very overwhelming at times, and if you don't release every now and then, these things can eat at your mental health. So for whoever needs to hear this right now, it's okay. And those that judge you for doing so, you don't need them. I know it's difficult sometimes because there are some women, and I said some, they will say that men don't show enough emotion. And in the moment that we do, we looked at as being too sensitive or too emotional. So believe me, I understand the idea of trying to maintain this hard image, but you ain't got to, respectfully, of course.
So on that point, right, that connects right to what Osa said. But on the last point that the gentleman said, I have experienced women I've dated, which they say they want somebody to express their emotions, right? The difference between me and a lot of the people is I've had a lot of years of schooling where they taught me how to express my emotions. But now I'm too effective with expressing my emotions because I'm able to use my words and I'm not going to yell, I'm not going to shut down. But then it's like they don't know how to respond. So therefore, it's like, oh, here you go again, Lamar. You're expressing your feelings. I'm like, but you express yours, right? So I think that definitely is like almost like a toxic type of trait that some people have, right? No matter who you're dating, no matter if it's friends or family, because there's still some family members that I won't talk to because I can't keep it real with them. And if I keep it real with them, they're gonna get all my feelings and they're gonna want to fight. But don't fight because I'm telling the truth. Don't fight me because you did some triflingness. You know, you try to acquire someone's property, or you try to do this, or you try to do that, or you talked about somebody behind their back. Don't get mad at me, right? Like,
Lamar, perfect example of that. Y'all, I'm sure y'all seen it. We've all seen it. I'm sure every last person on here and every last person watching. Look how families act when somebody die. Look how you see the backstabbing, you see the people showing up, trying to collect what they think is theirs, and then all the fights start, and it becomes this just horrible, unstructured situation where everybody's pissed off, everybody's mad, and the people that were the closest in the family, they turn on each other, and you see that, and then those emotions that were pushed down, they come up when the family want to turn up. Basically, you know, I've seen it in my family. Somebody body wasn't even in the ground, and the sister popped up with the bag and was like, "Oh, I bought this, and this belonged to me, and my daughter don't have this," and they said I could have. I mean, it was a mess. But and then money, oh man, money make people show they whole ass. I mean, and you turn into a crazy situation. And I've seen some tears, some fighting, the some app face busters, and I mean, like
app
face busters. I mean, killing them like dog fights, like over somebody passing and some money or a car or something crazy or a bank account, insurance. Who gonna do this? Who gonna pay for that stuff? You know.
nah, like that's why, Marcus, we have to understand the difference between expression and explosion, right? Everybody wants to crash out. Like that's the new thing. It was a hot girl summer like a few summers ago. But now the thing is everybody want to be a crash out, right? But we have to be honest and be able to express ourselves in healthy ways, and like staying calm, being honest, reflecting on things, taking accountability, effective communication, and avoiding like the yelling, the shutting down, and the passive aggressiveness, because those are the things that actually lead to conflict, leads to fights, right? But people do not respect honesty, right? No matter how you bring it, people don't respect honesty because they're unable to be accountable for the things that somebody else is being honest about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an easy defense mechanism to project it back to the person. You know, it's like, how dare you shine light into my darkness and make me feel something I don't want to feel? No, you make it going on, you know.
Mhm.
And it's definitely unfair. I see it a lot.
Can you give us like a woman's perspective? Like say your intentions are to encourage and uplift, you know, a man, a brother, or whatever, and you get pushback. Like, how do you respond to that?
Honestly, in my line of work, I deal with it a lot because I read what's under the surface. And a lot of times, people they won't agree to it, but I can't help but to feel what I feel. You know, I feel it in my body. So when I call it out, it's an instant pushback. So it's like, okay, well, like I feel your heart heavy, like you're dealing with some grief. You know, maybe this might be something around your father. And it was like, no, that's you and your father. And it's like, what? Like, where did it come from? Like, I don't have that issue. I actually experienced that before.
Oh,
And it was like,
okay.
whoa, my dad is still there, still married to my mom. I don't have that issue, you know. But and I don't even get all into that because I understand. Like I have that deep sense of empathy, where I see, okay, yeah, I hit a trigger. But another thing is like, triggers point you to where you're not healed. So if you look at a trigger as a guide, you may have to go reflect on your own. You might not be able to do it in that moment with that person because of pride or whatever. But truly sitting with yourself and seeing, okay, why did that hurt me? Why did that trigger me that way? Why did I react emotionally like that? Why did I just blow up? And you'll see, like, okay, there is some pain that's buried there that I've been neglecting all the time.
That's a
What if it's that? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lamar.
No, I was saying like she dropping knowledge. Like some people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for what she has now said because
That's the work I do, y'all. Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
So let me speak for some others who don't. Let's say I understand that I don't show my emotions. I understand that I hold things in because I don't want to be that vulnerable. I don't want to give somebody that leverage because I firmly believe once you know how to hurt me, you will always know how to get to me. I don't want you to. Once I sense and feel that you hurt me before, you would never. I would do my damnedest to make sure that you never see how you could ever hurt me again. So you have some people like that. Now, I'm not saying that it's healthy by no means because I am probably holding, and some people like me hold it in, right? I don't always want to share everything about me for somebody to use against me and have leverage because in relationships, any type of relationship, you open up to somebody, may not happen now, but down the line, they're gonna use it against you. You're gonna start hearing you always like that. Even you said you was like that. And sometimes people want to know, open up, be more sensitive. I want to know your emotions, show your emotions. No, you don't. You're not going to be able to handle my emotion when I tell you. So the best thing for me to do is protect you from it. I do exactly what that guy said. I go let it out in my car, scream out of my car, smoke a cigarette, take a walk, go
Not a
work out.
cigarette.
I release it.
Yeah.
I release it that way because sharing too much of yourself to somebody close or not in good faith. I don't know. I just don't.
I
I
get
don't
that.
want to be that vulnerable.
I do get that because after my grandmother passed, it was like a month where I didn't feel nothing. I was numb
Mhm.
and no emotion, no nothing. I went to work and somebody walking up to me would never have a clue that I was suffering or I was depressed or I was sad, but I had a normal, regular face. And I think I went to do something. I ran an errand to go somewhere, and I was coming home and I heard this song by Yeba. I heard 1,000 times, and that song hit me. And I was driving on I-20, and I couldn't even see. I had to pull over on the side of the road because I was watering up and I was crying my face off. And I remember sobbing and crying that whole night, and it just wouldn't stop. And then I woke up the next morning, I was crying. I cried for like 2, 3 days, but it was all that built up pressure of not
Yeah.
grief, and I was telling everybody I was fine, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And
It's
so
true.
I totally get that. I held that in for like a month. I didn't cry even when I found out she died. I didn't cry. I went to the funeral. I didn't cry. It was I was locked up, blocked up, everything. Just couldn't feel nothing.
Yeah, I can relate. I'm
Yeah.
numb a lot of times. Now, sometimes there's some people that think I'm selective,
Yeah.
right? There's certain people I can talk to about any and everything, and I might not like what they have to say or their advice, but I know that I can let that, I can release whatever that is. Like
Yeah.
my brother, like Antavius, probably on this thing, he probably has seen me go through many ups and downs. I know that I can open up to him and don't have to worry about that. But there are some people that I would never give you that leverage over me
Yeah.
But I got a
in my
question,
emotions.
and this could be for you, App, or for any other man. But what makes a man feel emotionally respected? Like what sets the tone for a man to be able to let his guard with someone?
I'm
He
going
has to want to.
to first. Look.
Yeah, Lamar.
Nah, I was just gonna say, what that does for me is when someone grants me the opportunity in the space and they're non-judgmental,
Mhm.
right? But what we have to do as men is we have to be brave enough to do it, right? Regardless of what your expectation. That's the thing. We can't have an expectation. If you're going to be real when it comes to expressing your emotions, you have to be vulnerable enough to put that out there. And anybody else who uses against you, they weak. And I'm gonna say it again. Anybody who uses your most vulnerable thing against you, they're weak. And the crazy thing is the strength and the people on this call for me is that y'all have never used those things against me,
Yeah.
right? Ever. You probably use it to make me remember you crashed out before. Don't do it again. because this is going to be the end result, right? That's something different, right? It's just saying, hey.
No, I've only seen Lamar crash out one time, and that was enough for me.
He's smooth with it.
I never signed up for that play again.
He just said that, since he done got older now, he's really good with his words.
I'm trying to get through my words. I'm trying to. But I mean, I think ultimately what it comes down to is you have to be accountable in yourself. You have to be confident in yourself to express that emotion. And regardless of whatever else somebody does with it, at least you got it off of your chest and you're not harboring like that feeling. And I think these are things that even within my family, within my brothers, like have to have conversations with them to be able to express things so they can move forward in their relationships. I guess the thing for me is like I have the degrees in psychology. So I was able to help my brothers move forward as I move forward, as we all process. But again, it was more, that was my support system and I'm their support system. So they felt comfortable. But my brothers probably still wouldn't do that to some random person that they met or a girl that they're just now dating. But what I told them is once you establish that rapport with them, you're going to have to take that next step, and that's to be vulnerable. So sorry, monopolizing time.
Very good. Anybody else want to share?
Fred, come on.
I'm just listening. I'm taking it in. I'm just thinking as we talk about emotions, we're talking about how many of us deflect, and I'm wondering, and I'm asking the panel as such, do you think this is just like a cultural thing? Do we like say it's a gender based thing, or is it a community? Is it where you live, where you from? Like, where do we develop this ball of emotions, and how are we able to express them accordingly, if that makes sense?
So Fred, before we answer, you got to answer, bro.
I don't know. I think everything plays a role in it. I think everything plays a cultural, gender, community, and then even the people you're around, right? Some people can make you explosive. Some relationships can ignite, and you know that, and then some can't. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. If I can say.
Yeah, I think especially with brothers, not you brothers, but brothers in general, like growing up in Black households, and we're told, don't you cry, fix your face, wipe them tears. Man, when I used to get whippings, I would stand up there with a straight face and would get, the whippings and stuff, because I was like, you ain't gonna make me cry. I was telling people giving me spankings like, like, you ain't gonna get me. I would smile because I was like, that's why I was called a bad child. They called me Damien when I was a kid. Like I was bad. Like I was the omen child, literally.
I've heard the stories. It's true.
Yeah.
I think there's a way that you can do it. Like I'm not against the whole man up movement and
me neither. Yeah.
Become the man. I'm really not. I think that listen, I ain't got, I gotta be careful with my words. I don't want to demasculate. What's the word I'm trying to say? Demasculate.
Demasculate.
Yeah, I don't want to demasculate men either.
Right.
Right. There is some differences between a man and a woman. Right. There is certain levels of, I don't want to say hardness because I'm gonna catch kickback on that. But it is just a difference. I think the Fred raised it. It is a gender thing, and it's a cultural thing. When men did what men, quote unquote, men do and being men things, and it just wasn't. I saw no problem with it. Do I think that some people can be a little bit overboard with the whole thing? Absolutely. I think it can be where it's damaging. I think there's a way you communicate that. I think not telling somebody not to cry is wrong. I think helping to understand why they're crying is the more appropriate way of why they feel that emotion to cry, let it out.
That leads me to the next video. So sometimes women can weaponize that, and they could turn that against you because they want you be the man, and oh God, if I had $1 for every time I saw a video where I want a man that make over 6 figures and he got to have a flat stomach and he got to have a nice car and all this stuff. And then when you ask her what she brings to the table, I'm cute. I get my nails done. I ain't cooking. I ain't cleaning. I ain't doing none of that. But the man has to carry the burden of taking care of the house, the wife, the kids, all of this stuff. Like, check this clip out.
Check on him. If you love that man, check on him. If you love that man, check on him. He is not all right. I don't care what he said when you asked. He is not all right. That man is struggling, trying to figure it out, trying to make sure that he's still seen as a man in your eyes, trying to figure out how he going to take care of the family. Money tight right now. He's trying to figure out where this little bit of paper going to come from that's going to keep us stable, that's going to keep the ship afloat. That man is struggling. That man is dealing with a lot of things that he'll never tell you about, because he's fighting so hard to try to get it done. And on the outside, he look like he's straight. He look like he good, but he is not. He's struggling. That man needs your help. If you love that man, check on him. We not wired to just spill everything that's going on in our head and you know, break down and ask for help. Most men are just not wired that way, but we need it. We need our woman. We need you to step in and investigate and take little things off his plate while he trying to carry everything else. Like, he needs your help. If you love that man, check on him. Because I don't care what he say. He is not all right.
What's your thoughts on that? Like, you about to say something, man. Oh, okay.
No, I like that clip. I think he's right. And I think for a lot of men, sometimes a woman has to remind him that they understand why he's doing it. You got to check on him. And a lot of times that's good for him. But also sometimes you may have to do a little bit more than what you would normally doing if you recognize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do agree with everything he said.
Yeah, I've definitely been there and struggled with paying bills, with stuff, and I get upset and I get frustrated, and I started drinking, and I mean, because that's my coping, that's my way of working through that, you know, and you know, having your woman, having, you know, somebody like, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm here with you. This ain't something that you got to deal with alone and stuff like that. That gets kind of deep because men don't want to ask for help. I hate asking for help. I hate asking to borrow money. I hate asking, or even saying, you know, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know, stuff like that. That's hard for me. And I'm 53. You know, I feel like it took me some years of growing to kind of accept that, because I was always a reactor. You and I were very much so alike. I would always react. Like, if somebody pissed me off or said something I didn't like, I'm ready to fight, cuss them out, everything. And then I ran into the worst client you could ever have in real estate. And I want to cuss so bad. When I tell you that mother, he got under my skin. And what I noticed as I look back on it, he never raised his voice. He never cursed, all the stuff I did. But say sharp tongue stuff that would just piss you off. And I was like, and I was like, how could somebody get under your skin like that and piss you off so bad? And you want to be professional and all of this stuff, but then you want to be Eastside Detroit on eight too. So it's like I struggle with that, but it taught me that, you know, you don't always have to be a reactor. You know, you can sometimes, you know, just speak your heart, say how you feel, and get your point across. Me personally, yeah.
No, I'm all on board with this. Is every video has like basically reinforced the things that we've already said.
Mm-hmm.
we're taught to be the provider. We're taught to not lean on, like, literally, man, asking for help. Like everybody has to, is one of the hardest things. But what
Yeah.
I appreciate now is that I actually have an option, right? Built a support system to, like, where I can go to somebody, and sometimes it's not asking them for money, but it's asking for their time just to listen,
Yeah.
right? And now it's up to us as men to build those systems of security to where we you shouldn't be going to everybody asking them to do certain things or to
Right.
be there for you. You should go to your circle, you know what I'm saying? And some circles are larger than others, some are smaller than others.
Yeah.
Um,
And
that,
I love my mom to death, but I noticed that I was doing certain things the same way she did it. You know how your moms treat you. She'll call and be like, "Well, I sure need to get my hair done, but I ain't got no money." And I'd be like, and I would get upset and be like, "Why don't you just ask me?" Or yes, or Cash App or whatever. But
yeah,
then
yeah,
I noticed I wouldn't ask at all. I would just suffer
yeah,
and figure it out, or go to somebody that I was comfortable with, like you said, Lamar, somebody that I know I could talk to and say, "Hey, I'm in a situation. I need some money. I'll get it back to you Friday, whatever. I got a check coming next week, whatever." But I, I think I know 2, 3 people I can call and say that to, and
hmm
it's rare. Look, I said that, and one of them called my brother. It's literally like it's only a few people that you can. It's hard to ask for help and say I
yeah.
need help or help me.
Especially as a grown man.
Yeah, definitely. You feel like less than when you have to break down and ask somebody for help and stuff like that.
But you have to understand that, I mean, life is an ebb and a flow, right? So
Yeah,
sometimes you're going to be up, sometimes you're going to be down. The reason why you have your support system is hopefully when you down, they up, or they tread water so they can bring you up too somehow, some way, give you an opportunity. Sometimes, again, it's not necessarily the revenue, it's the opportunity, it's the
yeah,
resources that is endless, that is timeless, to be able to get somebody a job, right? To be able to speak up for somebody, to vouch for somebody. Those are the things right there that are priceless, that money
Hmm.
can calculate, right? And
yeah,
I appreciate that because I have people that will do that for me, who have done it for me multiple times.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's good to also be that person too that somebody calls and contacts. Hey, can you help me out? And I'll be like, yeah, I got you. That feels good to be able to do that. I'm sure we've all been on both sides. What you about to say,
Right.
Osa?
Another question: do men feel love for who they truly are, or for mostly what they can provide?
I think it's who you put value in to what, like validate yourself, right? And I think early on, I'm speaking for myself here. Like early on, I allowed others to validate me versus me validate myself. Like allow others to define me, other than me to define myself. So you know, early on, I would say, yeah, I probably allowed women that shouldn't have they shouldn't have had a chance in hell to date me, to validate me. And those were the same ones to tear me down versus someone who's bringing just as much as I'm bringing, if not more. Those are the ones that, will validate you, will say all the right things, and do right by you, even when you're doing wrong. So, that's a really good person. But yeah, when it comes to those particular things, it's like these some good Oprah questions you asking, Osa.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my feelings on that here.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Right.
Red?
Ask it again, also.
The question was, do men feel love for who they truly are, or mostly for what they can provide?
I think Lamar said it. He said it better than I could have said it. But I think it's a little bit of both, because I think what defines a man sometimes is what they can provide, right? So I think sometimes that the merging of the, the two statements really is what a man is sometimes judged, or what they are defined as. Even when you're a man and you know, amongst anyone, all you think about is provider. What can you bring to the table? You know, that's the common terminology, whatever case may be. But they're talking majority financially, right? It's not how much time can you spend with the family. It's not about things of that. No, that becomes later on issues. But the beginning issues is about how much money can you provide? Can you take care of me? Can you take care of me? We have a child, even if I'm working or not working. Those are real life conversations that we have to have. So I think being a man, sometimes you have to put aside what you really feel like, you know, maybe not, or maybe not right now, or maybe I should focus on my career instead of focus on this relationship, or how do I cultivate both of them simultaneously? What do I put down first and second? Those are a lot of raw emotions that people have to go through as men to make the right decision, because the wrong decision can set you back or set you forward. It just depends on what your idea is as a man at the end of the day.
Yeah, and like to that point, I think again when I talked about the beginning level of emotional intelligence being anger, I think that's the beginning level of someone's concept of what you bring to the table, and it's more focused on what a man brings to the table or what a woman brings to the table. It just all depends. But in this case, Fred, you were saying it. I think that if a woman is focused on what can you provide for me, that ain't the woman I want to be with. And that's just the honest truth. I've established myself to a certain extent. And somebody wise told me she got to bring something to the table, just like you bring something to the table. She got to have something to lose. Just as much as you have to lose, she has to have to lose. Because I worked hard, I sacrificed years of schooling, my hair, the whole nine to get to my right. So she gonna have to bring something to the table as well. It ain't gonna be my 40 acres and a mule, like I always talk about. That's an inside joke with the reparations. It ain't gonna just be my retirement, my job, my house. Thank you, Marcus, for my house. My realtor.
Man, you're welcome, brother.
It's not going to just be a one-sided thing, man. It's going to bring, what is she going to bring as well? And I think that's the next level, because if a woman is just doing that, then that means that she's only going to depend on that. But what is her hustle, right? What is she doing? And honestly, at this stage and phase in our life, she don't got to be at home taking care of the kids. Like, we can figure that out. Like, she got to have some goals, some dreams, some aspirations.
Right.
I stopped looking for people to. I ain't never cared about nobody, validating or edifying me at all. I think sometimes it's what we put on ourselves or how we define us as a man too. Internally, because you look at who you matching yourself up against to be a man. So for my measurement too was always my grandfather, right? So I always strive to be the man that he was or better. So that was my plateau. That's the only thing I needed internally. I didn't care what nobody else thought about me. I still don't, because nobody else can live for me but me.
Okay. I like that. That's deep.
Question for you fellas. Now, y'all speak about it, throughout this episode, each other, like, brothers, your tribe. The question was, do men comfort each other emotionally the way that women do?
No, because y'all.
I don't even desire my brothers to comfort me the same way as a woman, right?
Please don't.
Nope. Pause.
No. Okay, so rewind. So not like taking the place of a woman, because you know how women we get together, we have our waiting to exhale parties. Like we can sit, we could call our sister and cry and emote. The question is saying, like, can men find that same comfort in their brothers too?
Yes,
Yeah, we can.
differently, but yes, very much.
Like
so.
we go to cigar bars and we go to a game or tailgate or something like that, or the titty bar or something like that. But I don't see people especially I don't see guys getting emotional in those environments. I mean, maybe if I've seen it happen where like guys would like go sit at the park and take a drink out there and just chop it up and get real deep on some deep level stuff that that they want to get some things off their chest and off their shoulders. Maybe then, but it's rare. I don't think it happens often. Like women are emotional creatures automatically. So, they'll open up standing in the parking lot outside their job, or something like that, where guys will wear this face and this guard is up and they're not trying to do none of that.
I think guys will open up to those they respect and that they're closest to, but that type of relationship is much deeper than a surface relationship.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I can speak for probably the men that's on here. At one point in time, we probably have confided in one another through something we were dealing with in life, and we trust that person. I know that I can tell Marcus something Marcus probably ain't gonna tell. He probably won't even share it with them. I know that I can probably, if I was going through something, I can call all four of these brothers like, look, man, I need to meet with y'all. I need to talk this out. And I can value what they're telling me, because sometimes our minds do get cloudy. So in the way that we pour into each other, but that's my inner circle, right? That's and hopefully I'm theirs. But I know that I can go to them for that.
Yeah.
Could I go to others? No, they're limited to what I would share with them. There's no way. These guys, probably with the exception of Lamar, have met my family.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's a deeper brotherhood connection. It's more like family at this point. That's years of cultivating that relationship for a man to be that vulnerable like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now sometimes you can open up to a stranger because they have no judgment about you one way or another. But that's rare. And even then you're going to be limited because you don't really know that person.
I like
somebody
that.
Insight to the culture, American culture as pertains to emotion and all these different things. There's so many scenes in all three of the Best Man movies that will hit all these different things. Different characters, like they play it out, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's just one of the cinematic, like I said before, cinema. You want to lean on something, you want to get some insight to something, you want to understand how African American men minds like work. I mean, they basically play it out there.
Okay. I got another break we're gonna take, and then Dr. Love, you don't mind, I got a question that was emailed in to the cousins, and we want to get your open-hearted, no tears.
I'll try my hardest.
It's interesting, but we'll be right back, y'all. Cousins.com and cousinsinthecosmos.com.
Aparicio and its heaviest roll like tides. College days, Clark, Atlanta, where it all.
At How a Luxury Group, luxury isn't just a listing, it's a promise. From breathtaking mansions to white glove service, we guide every step with care, confidence, and discretion. When it's time to buy or sell, trust How a Luxury Group Realty to take great care of you.
HLG, Howell Luxury Group Realtors, where luxury meets lifestyle.
Life stories, no truth left, spare brotherhood on air. Pull up a chair, three minds, one.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Marcus,
Hey.
Osa, Cousins in the Cosmos, Kuiet, Aparicio, Lamar.
Hey. What we got, y'all?
So yeah, I want to basically submit this question for the Love Doctor and get you guys' opinions as well, and wrap it up. Since we crossing over and merging and doing everything, we got this letter I'm gonna read to you. All right, here we go. A little lengthy, but I'll shorten it up.
Reading the room, yeah. Marcus and Osa, I learned the hard way. I hit the floor face first, empty fridge, late rent, phone on low, no job, praying for a small break. Marcus said, look around, no sincerity there. I was too far gone, trying to act like I care, but the walls got loud and the mirror told truth. Every bad choice I made had a shadow in the breed in the room, read in the room. Marcus and Osa, read in the room. At rock bottom, still I move, read in the room, read in the room.
Dear doctor, dear love doctor, she says. Excuse me. Dear love doctor, I've been with my boyfriend for almost 4 years, and I honestly don't know how much longer I can keep pretending that everything is okay. From the outside looking in, he's a perfect man. He works hard, he takes care of business, makes people laugh, and everybody loves him. His friends call him solid. My family thinks I'm lucky. Even I feel lucky. But behind closed doors, oh, here we go. It feels like I'm in a relationship with someone who refuses to let himself be human. Whenever something hurts him, he shuts down completely. If I ask him how he's feeling, he says, I'm good. If we argue, he disappears emotionally for days. I've seen this man lose people he loves, struggle financially, battle stress, and carry the weight of everyone around him, and still somehow act like nothing affects him. The only emotion he seems comfortable showing is anger, never sadness, never fear, never softness. A few months ago, I caught him crying in the car after leaving his cousin's funeral. He wiped his face before I got in and acted like it would never happen. When I tried to comfort him, he laughed it off and said, men don't have time to fall apart. That sentence broke my heart because the truth is, I think he's fallen apart. And I don't know how to love someone who was taught that feeling, and it appears to him to make him weak. Sometimes I wonder if men ever realize how much distance this creates in relationships. I don't need him to be perfect. I don't need him to man up. I just want honesty. I want to know the real him underneath the performance, the jokes, the toughness, and the mask. But I also know the world has not been kind to men who show emotion, especially black men. They're expected to carry everything silently and still be protectors for everybody else. I see that pressure on him every day. So my question is, how do you love a man who doesn't know how to be emotionally seen? And for the men on the panel, what mask are men wearing that women may not fully understand, trying to love him beyond his armor? That's a lot. It is. How do you love a man who doesn't know how to be emotionally seen? And for the men on the panel, what mask are men wearing that women may not fully understand? Let's go for it.
I'm gonna take a quick stab at the latter question. I think we talked about it tonight, right? The mask of being a provider, the mask of showing strength, showing always, you showing the society and the world and in your community and your children, right? That you can do everything. That you can go to the meetings, you can go to the baseball games, you can go to the basketball games, and make it home in time for dinner. Oh, and also make $500,000 a year, things of that nature, right? So the pressure keeps building and building on. Then when you don't make that bill or that mortgage goes down or say the light bill didn't get paid, then yeah, honesty is honest until you're honest about the situation. Then it's no longer, no one wants the honesty anymore, right? So the guy tells the girl, look, I can't make the light payment. And now it's a problem. Now you mismanage your money and now it becomes more accusations. So
Yeah.
I think just the pressure of that as a man, it builds and builds. Not that we can't get through it because we do it every day, right? But we have to find ways to release, because if not, that's when things get aggressive. That's when, unfortunately, domestic violence, which we never condone on this, happens unnecessarily because that pressure. We just don't know how to, as Lamar said, we're emotionally unintelligent when we're at anger mode. So that's kind of me. Short. App.
Yeah, somewhere in there she called him weak, but I ain't gonna go back that far in that letter. I think that I truly understand, but here's what I'm gonna say. A lot of times men are showing their emotions. It's just they're not showing it to you when you want them to show it to you, right? I do think, huh?
That's true.
Yeah, they're not showing it. And I think that the fact that you mentioned certain things in your letter is that you recognize that certain things are heavy for him. The question you should ask is, well, you did ask. He said, how can you love him? That's the part you got to figure out. Maybe he needs a back rub after that long day and he's doing stuff. Maybe he needs you while he's out working. Maybe you're tweaking his resume for him and getting some leads from him, right? Maybe it's some of those other things that
Some smothered chicken and some collard greens and macaroni and cheese and like peas and cornbread.
But I think when I hear a letter such as this, and I think about when women say that, for me it just resorts back to when you're dealing with your emotions is when you want him to show his. He doesn't have time to show his for you, right? Because he's still pushing. But because you want it right now, you want him to come out right now, he ain't ready to let that out right now. Give him grace. He'll show it to you if he feels comfortable enough to open that part up. But if you're badgering him about it, and you're not showing that you understand that he's going through something and dealing with something and able to soothe some of those things, I think Lamar said it earlier, then it might be a minute for him to open up.
Yeah.
He may be opening up, just not to you.
I get it.
Lamar.
All right, man. This is a lot. This is a lot. And I'm not going to say things that are agreeable to everybody on the panel. I'm going to let y'all know that now. So the first thing I've learned is that when you approach a relationship, you got to accept the person for who they are. I think they said in church, come as you are, right? So if you're sitting here saying you don't know how to love this person, that's a problem. Because that means that you're not doing your Googles, you're not doing your research to support this particular person. Because the first thing you got to do is, define what's meaningful. So define love languages, right? Before we even talk about counseling and all those different things, let's talk about that. Let's see if you can break some walls down by thinking about what he desires, thinking about what he values, and giving him more of that, and then turning that into a conversation about, hey, well, I seen that you were upset the other day ago, and start pacing into that, right? And then when you get to that point, that means that you're granting him the space and opportunity to open up, right? And that creates like these healthy habits of expression, right? And then with that, you got to always then have those conversations with him and say, hey, if it's not me, tell somebody, your mentor, your brother, get a therapist, support group, whatever it is going to be. And then through that, through those people, and I've actually gotten more tools in my toolbox. Like it's like going to Home Depot, and I like to go to Home Depot. I like to go to Home Depot. I'll buy something just to buy something. Boy, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. I try to fix everything, right? So tools in your emotional toolbox, right? I've gotten more tools from the brothers on this call, from other friends and family, than I've gotten from a therapist, which is crazy, right? Enough. Because your therapist will be there for you the way that, you need them to be. But for me, it's more like situational things. I'll go for a therapist too. But when it comes to tools in my toolbox, you gotta pick those things up. You pick those things up a lot of times from your support system, right? Those things are gems. Like even Osa dropped some gems today for people's emotional toolbox. So y'all need to rewind it, go back to this certain things that certain people have said, because certain things might apply to you. I think what we got to do is enhance our lexicon, enhance our vocabulary. We talked a lot today about manning up, right? And I said, well, we should think about saying show up. I think strength is not in the words, it's really in the actions, right? And it's about showing up for people. It's about communicating effectively, not yelling, you know what I'm saying? Accepting things. Like it's strength in accepting when you're wrong. It's strength in apologizing when you're wrong. Somebody on this call told me a while ago, you know what I'm saying, as a big brother, sometimes you got to just, bite the bullet and go ahead and go in and apologize. Because when you do that, that breaks down, the other brother's wall. Because I literally had to do that with one of my siblings, but it was because I got that emotional tool from my brother. And then I went to them and, like, again, I saved my biological brother relationship that I have with him. Being emotional intelligent takes discipline and confidence, honestly. You have to avoid things that create damage in your relationships. So with that being said, you just got to be open and honest in expression. I talked about this earlier. There's a difference between expression and explosion, right? So again, crashing out. You got to be able to do things in such a manner that you're calm. And I actually apply this to every day at work, man. I go into work, and other than crash out, I be calm, I'm honest, I communicate, I reflect, and I'm accountable. And sometimes reflection and processing doesn't mean that people need to get an answer out of you. You can say, I'll get back to you later. I'm processing. And then when your mind is right, you come back and you're able to articulate yourself without yelling, without shutting down, without being passive aggressive, all those particular things. I think becoming emotional intelligent is something that happens over time. I'm still growing myself. I grow every day. But, as people say often, like, you need a village. And I think with your support system, again, that gives you the resources for your emotional toolbox. And you develop in healthy habits, like you're going to journal, you're going to find ways to work out. Black men, please work out. Please work out. Watch what you ate. Don't intake too many sweets, too many salty foods, because you talk about diabetes, high blood pressure, right? Prayer and meditation. If you pray, I don't care if it's Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, whoever it may be, pray, meditate.
Yes.
Talking to trusted friends and therapy, man. Those are developing healthy habits, and I think that's all I got for y'all today, man. I'm on E at the point, but
well, you just preached, so we love it. That was church. Just do this. Drop the mic. I love that.
If I can add, for being like as a woman, holding space for a man, like what I've gathered in my toolbox, is just simply honoring just presence, silent presence, not not putting my opinion into it, not trying to compete or battle with what's being said, but just asking questions so that person can go deeper and just sitting there in that moment. Sometimes, the emotions, it could be silent, but you can feel it in the air. Sometimes just simply a hug and just being there, can help a lot. It helps to unravel a lot. I've witnessed this a lot with some of my clients, and like they'll come back with their girlfriend, and end up being like a couples reading. I do know that men truly want to be emotionally seen, and when they get that space to truly just let their armor down, it's so freeing,
Yeah.
So I really just embrace men to get in tune with yourself, your emotions, know that it is okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to emote in any kind of way. It does not make you soft or weak or any of it. It makes you healthy. It's good for your mental. It's good for your emotional body. It's good for your spiritual body. And we need to be healthy for each other. We need to be healthy for our children in the future. So it's just about unlearning this. It is an umbrella, a cultural umbrella that we're under, and then it goes down to the gender umbrella. But we have to unlearn this within our community.
Yeah, I agree. You want to add anything to that, Weems? Okay. And to follow what you said, Osa, I agree with actually Fred, App, Lamar, Osa, y'all all spitting. I guess that good knowledge. I guess that stuff. I appreciate that. If I could add to it, just a pinch. I think like getting that therapy in there, and Black folks are taught, don't cry, wipe your face, don't, who goes to therapy, and that's not for our people, blah blah blah. I mean, you never know where your help gonna come from. I became more spiritual as an adult on my own, way easier than it was when I was forced to go to church every Sunday and be in a youth choir and go to Bible study and go to Wednesday night service and Saturday night rehearsals and all of that stuff. And that pushed me away from church and God, basically. Now I'm doing readings, and I noticed that when I do readings with people, sometimes I have a little prayer before I speak to the people. And when I talk to guys, men, they open up, they talk, and I see the real them come out. It's not vulnerable to me. It's bravery. You brave enough to have this discussion. You can say, I want to connect with somebody who's no longer with us, and that might make me cry. And sometimes I'm doing a reading and make me cry. Those emotions are strong, and there's nothing wrong with that. Having that bravery to even show up for a reading. Most men, they don't want to do stuff like that. It's mostly women, but every now and then the men show up too, and I appreciate you guys, man. This was a in-depth, really deep conversation. I understand it could be a little hard, and this wasn't a attack on our conservative brother trying to get him that reading in. We left you alone, brother. We left you alone today. But yeah, I love you guys, and I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Y'all like family for real, and we gonna keep this thing going. I'm still watching and commenting and liking and everything on all your videos and stuff. So we gonna keep supporting and backing each other, and I look forward to this. So in the future, make sure you guys check us out, the Brothers with a Z.com and cousinsinthecosmos.com. Check us out, follow us, like, subscribe. YouTube, man, follow us. And we got some subscribers on YouTube, and we both growing and showing out. So again, y'all, love you. See you next time. Bring it.
Lights, camera, action. Ready for a chain reaction in the city of dreams. Oh, where the peach tree gleams. Something big is coming. Hear that rhythm drumming. TWF connections. Yeah, we got the right solutions. TWF connections. For all your grand illusions. TWF connections. From the